everybody, ODC here, and back with another action figure review. Today's review, we're going to take a look at the Star Wars Black Series Episode 4, Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia action figures. Now, these just finally shipped to me via Amazon. You'll have to pardon my nasally voice here. I am a little bit under the weather. It's that time of year. It's kind of going around. So, anyway, the figures at hand here. This is a pretty solid looking set, I gotta say. This was also released with Dagan Gera. Sorry, I don't know why I said his name Vera. But I'll probably do a separate review for him. I wanted to do these two together just because it's thematically makes sense. But anyway, the figures here. First, I'll start off with Princess Leia here. We'll move Luke over. We'll start with that. Leia, I think, is probably the better looking of the two. I think she's got the far superior head sculpt. I think it did a really good job with the sculpt of the robe. It is a pliable plastic, so you don't have to worry about this kind of, really turning her into a parking cone or anything like that. It's not overly heavy, and I think the white robes look really well. Now, over time, this might yellow a little bit. That's just the way white plastics go. That's just the kind of the way it is. She also did include her, her usual pistol. I gave her the E11 blaster just because I feel like that was a little bit more iconic for her, is the E11 for this look for her. Like I said, the face sculpt looks very, very good. I'm very pleased with what they did with the face sculpt. It looks a little bit more lively, like it's an actual person. Really good sculpt for the buns on the side of her head. Yeah, I think they did a really nice job with this. The overall sculpt of the torso looks really good. The arms look really nice. The belt, nice sculpt for the belt. She does have pinned legs, so I'm assuming that these were probably reused from an older body, possibly the original Leia that they gave us, but I'm not 100% sure on that, so somebody can let me know in the comments below. But still, it's pretty much covered by the skirt anyway, so you don't really see them, so it's not like a big deal breaker. You can get her into a wider stance as well, so if you want to have her in a more dynamic pose with the dress, you can. So that looks good. I think that's pretty well done there. She does also include a hood, which we'll get to in a minute, but here is the hood, the figure itself, and just kind of take it in. Here is the removable downed hood, excuse me. That looks really nice as well. Overall, I want to say this is a really nice, solid figure. Probably one of the best out of this wave. And don't have too many issues with the figure itself. I think this is an upgrade from the cloth goods that they actually did give us. So it's one of the few times I'll actually say that the cloth goods the cloth goods weren't nearly as good as the hard plastic, which, you really do gain a lot of sculpt and detail with that plastic material. All right, and here are the other accessories she does come with. Here is her blaster pistol. We're pretty used to this at this point, so you can use this for the beginning scene when she shoots the stormtrooper. And then we've got the E11 blaster, which is, we're pretty used to this too, so nothing too crazy there. There's not really any other sort of crazy paint on there other than this little, almost like a release right there. And then we've got the upped hood, which we'll put on right now. So you just want to remove the head. You want to pop that head off, and then just slide this off of the neck. There you go. And then you want to pop this back on, and then you just want to pop this back into the peg, like so. And they should, well, I'm not hearing any poppage. I think it's on there, though. There you go. Let me double check that. Make sure it's on there. It is. Okay. Beautiful. And it does sit really well. I am quite surprised, and it actually moves well with the head because the way that they have this engineered is this separate piece kind of goes and covers the neck, so she can actually turn her head with the hood. This is very well done. I was kind of skeptical about this hood, but I think they did a really good job with this. So, yeah, give us more of this. This is very nice. I do quite like this. And it does sit better than I think a soft goods. Now, the way you can still manipulate a soft goods is, you usually want to wet it and it'll sit over the head better. That's what I had to do with my Balin's skull. His cloth goods. But, I mean, really, when you get this sculpted detail right here with this plastic and the fact that it can move, I think this looks great. They did a really good job. So I think either look you go with, whether it's this look or the downed look, I think that you're both getting something unique. And you could almost get, if you want to have two different versions, you could get two of her and have one with the hood up and one with the hood down if you wanted to. So you got some options there. I do quite like that. I think you just want to pop the head back off. I'm probably going to have her with the hood down. It does look really good with the hood up, though. So, like I said, world is your oyster, but I think to get the full feel of the figure, the full-fledged look for her, I like it with the hood down. She doesn't have her hood up for too long in the movie, so I think I'll go with this. I think this makes the most sense. And I really like the proportions for her body. It does look like Carrie Fisher. It doesn't look like, it doesn't look non-womanly like most female action figures nowadays. It's like they try to make them as minimal of a woman as possible for some reason. It's like everybody's got like the 16-year-old girl teen body or something like that. It's like no one looks like a woman anymore. And it actually does look like a woman with a nice robe or dress on. So I think they did a really good job. This is a really nice figure. This might be my one of my favorite figures out of this wave, to be honest with you. Let's see if I can get her finger on that trigger, which is a separate finger. Hopefully I'm not struggling too long on camera here for you. There we go. Beautiful. And she can hold it. Really nicely done. She does have butterfly joints. So let's get to articulation. Let's not waste any more time with her because I'm going to spend too much time just kind of gawking over the figure. Her head can swivel to full 360 if you needed to. Not sure why you would. Her head looks up about that far. It does look down nicely. So better range of motion in this figure. Tilt side to side. She does have a little bit of giant turkeys, not a lot. That's it. Arms can go up about this far. That's maxed out right there, but she can T-pose nicely. Goes down, full 360 rotation in the arm. She does have that butterfly joint. It's a little hindered, I'm not going to lie. If you move the hood, maybe you can get it back a little bit further, and then that's it forward. So it's very minimal, but it is there. Single jointed elbow, which is more than 90 degrees, and that's all you need, I think. Swivel at the elbow as well. A swivel at the wrist. She does have a lateral hinge joint, and then she does have a vertical hinge joint on the gun side. So this is actually a perfect setup. You want to have that lateral hinge joint on one side and the vertical on the other, so she can kind of move the gun up and down, and then she can hold it this way or that way, in or out. This is really how you want to have things set up as far as holding a gun or a blaster or a pistol or whatever. She can swivel at the waist. She can tilt side to side. She does have T-jointed hips, so her hips can go. She can do the splits about that far. Not that you really need her to with this version of Leia. You don't really need to have her overly dynamic. And then she can kick forward also about that far. And then she can kick back about that far. She does have an upper thigh swivel, double jointed pinned knees. She doesn't have a boot swivel. It's all sculpted in. But you do have ankle pivot. She can pointy heel, really good. Pointy toe, really nice. 2 peg holes. And in a partridge in a pear tree. All right, let's get to Luke. Here he is. I have some stuff to say about this figure. This was one I was really, really, really looking forward to. I think he is still a solid figure. I don't think he's a great figure, though, by any means. And we'll get to the reasons why. But let's get to our accessories first. He comes with his lightsaber, Dad's lightsaber, Anakin's lightsaber, his lightsaber passed down. He also comes with his binoculars, which they peg into the hook for his lightsaber also. It's not the best engineered design by any means, but there's a little hole there. You put it onto this little hook, and you can also put the lightsaber onto that hook. You just want to detach the lightsaber blade from here. And I always get worried about these lightsaber blades. They break very easily, especially over time when they weaken. So I try to be careful there. But there you go. There it is, detached. And you can put it right on that hook. And it sits not overly secure, but it does sit. There you go. Sticks out a little bit. This random pouch on the back is also removable, which is weird because none of the other pouches are removable. Not that I would ever want them to be, but they probably could have just sculpted this into the belt. Not really sure why they did. But if you do want to use this guy for a custom body, maybe for another Jedi or something like that, or a custom character or whatever, it is nice that you don't have to cut this off. You could just remove it. So that is actually a plus for customizers, I think. But if you don't really care about that, I think it's kind of more of an annoyance than anything. And there is a specific spot that you want to put it because there's a little notch in the belt for it, for the hook. So those are essentially all of his accessories right there. He doesn't come with anything else. This is just, episode 4, Farm Boy Luke. Now, let's get to the things that I don't like about him. Number one is I want to say mostly, it's not the sculpt of the head, it's the paint on the head. He's lacking a lot of shading in the hair. I don't like it. The next thing is the eyes look very soulless and doll-like. I feel like the printed, painted detail wasn't really well done. He needs more paint shading on his face. Now, if you look at Dagobah Luke, which I still will hold ground that is the best Luke Skywalker head sculpt outside of getting a custom head sculpt and not including SH Figuarts because it's a little not fair to Hasbro because you can't really compare $100 figure to a $25 figure. It's very, very difficult to do so. Budgets are completely different. So when you look at that head sculpt and then you compare it to this, it is night and day difference. I still think that Dagobah Luke head sculpt holds up, regardless of what I want to say what other people say. I don't think it's the sculpt. I think it's not that bad. When you look at it from the side, that looks like young Mark Hamill. When you start looking at it head on, it looks like a little toy, like there, you could see Mark there. You could see him looking out into the sun like that. But here, it's his eyes. I think the eyes really are just too big. Or I don't know if they're just painted a certain way. It's not horrible paint, but it's just there's something is off about it. I don't even mind the hair sculpt because the hair actually looks like he does in a few scenes in the movie. So I don't mind that. It's just the fact that they didn't shade anything really all that well. There might be light shading in certain aspects of it, but it needs to be a little bit brightened up. It looks like Lego hair almost. So it's a little bit too plasticky looking. So I think the sculpt is fine. It's the paint that's not really helping the sculpt and pull out those details and be able to show you how much this looks actually like Mark Hamill. So Mark Hamill also has a very difficult face to get in sculpt form. Some people just do. You look at Mattel with Bret Hart. You look at some even Shawn Michaels figures. It's some people's faces are very unique looking and it's hard to get those pulled out of a character. Anyway, stuff's falling over. Oh my God. But anyway, the last real thing that I can't stand about this figure is he kind of has a loose bobblehead. Like It it's probably just by copy, I hope. Hopefully you don't have this problem, but it's very loose. So it kind of, when you have a loose ball peg, it's not really good, and it doesn't help that he constantly wants to dip his head down. The last thing I want to point out is that I think his neck is entirely too long. He's got a little bit of a giraffe neck, and I don't know if that's due to the neck itself being sculpted as tall as it is, or if it's the fact that the neck peg hole is too high up and the neck peg is either too long or too short. So I don't know what that is. I'll probably have to dissect the figure if so, when I have time to do that. But for the review's sake, I'll just say that he definitely has a long neck. He should be sitting down a little bit further, maybe around here. So, but when you sit him upright the way it's supposed to be, he looks rather gangly in the neck. He almost looks like Davis Mills. I don't know if you guys know who that is, the football player, and he's got a really long neck. It looks like giraffe. As far as Luke Skywalker's articulation does go, his head can look up about that far. It can look down. It can tilt side to side. Let's see if you got... Oh, yeah, we got some turkeys up in here. There's a lot of turkeys there. His arms can go up about this far. So there's a T-pose for you. Down, he does have butterfly joints, which actually are really, really good. I mean, look at that range of motion right there. That's pretty darn good. He can get almost all the way across his body if he needs to. And then as far as back goes, I mean, he can really get into a swiping position. So that's really good. Good job on the butterfly joints. Single jointed elbow, more than 90 degrees. Swivel at that elbow, swivel at the wrist. And then we have are these ball pegs? I think they're ball pegs on here for the wrist. No, that's a hinge. He's got a vertical hinge joint on this side. And then does he have a ball joint? Oh, no, he's got a vertical hinge on that side. So it's kind of hidden really well. It almost looks like a ball joint, but it's a vertical hinge on each side. So that's actually good for him because he can use the lightsaber in swiping positions. And then he can also hold his binoculars, and you kind of want him to be able to go up and down with that. He does have a waist twist. A waist twist right here. And then he does have a crunch forward a little bit and a crunch back, a tilt side to side. He can do the splits about this far. And he can go down, forward. There is no upper thigh swivel anymore. There's a leg back. I mean, it's a little bit there. It's kind of more of an anatomically correct thigh swivel. It's just connected to the ball joints, and there's a little bit of space in the crevice for the connection point. But he can twist a little bit. He has a single jointed knee here, a swivel at that knee. He does have a boot swivel, so that's really nice because this is an all-new body. He has a pointy heel, pointy toe, ankle pivot, 2 peg holes, and a partridge in a pear tree. Here is my original Farm Boy Luke with a custom head and with a custom gi on. I guess I'll just call it a gi robe. Now, this was a custom robe I think I got from... what was that? I can't remember the name of the customizer offhand, but I thought this robe sit a little bit better on the body. His hands also used to suck on this figure. But here is the head sculpt. I'll bring them up close and personal, and you can tell me which one is better, that you think is better. But I don't know. I almost want to say I might take the head sculpt off of this guy and put him on that. But let me know in the comments below, which one do you think better? Do you like this one better? That's fine. Do you like this one better? Let me know. It's a comparison between the original Luke with a custom head on the left, and then on the right we've got new Leia versus old Leia. And this new Leia just blows that old Leia out of the water. This is even the Leia from the updated Leia. I mean, you can see how shiny her head is compared to this one. I mean, it is a huge difference. So this will go in storage some way. Maybe I'll sell this. I don't know. We'll see. But I did look at the legs, and I believe that the legs are the same. So there's that to point out. Same boots. These are just shinier. And she has no paint for the actual legs here. So she's kind of half naked underneath that shawl there, or the skirt piece. But there you go with those comparisons. Okay, and really quick, just wanted to show you guys really quick the updated display. So far, I have everybody episode 4, 5, 6, and then kind of overflow from 6 going into some other stuff anyway. But I digress. I got Figure Arts Luke down there. But let's take a look at the display from episode 4 so far. And we desperately need a updated Han Solo. I would assume or guess, my estimate would be possibly a reveal this year for him if they've already done these two. And then maybe we get a redo for Obi-Wan Kenobi as well. That's actually a custom head that he's got right there. But I do think this is an upgrade. The soulless face on poor Han there could use an update. And then poor Chewbacca, I think that not being able to really use those arms the way you want him to is kind of a hindrance. But there is the updated look for the episode 4 characters. All right, so for my final thoughts on Luke and Leia here, I think that they're solid figures. I think Leia is better than Luke. I have my issues with the head, which I've spoke about. I'm not going to rehash it, but I think Leia is the better pickup, even with the reused legs. I still think she's a far superior. Both of them are far superior to the original releases with the cloth goods. I never thought I'd find myself saying that, but I actually do find myself saying that here. So good on them. And the material, the softer plastic material that they used for both soft goods, or for both cloth sculpts, are very well done. I think they did a really good job. Leia is a little bit more of a brighter white, where Luke is a little bit more of a sandy white. So it also works in contrast to each other. They kind of pull more of the sculpts out, especially when they're next to each other as opposed to being separate. So that works, and I can't wait to get a future Han Solo redo and possibly a future Chewbacca redo. I think that old Chewbacca body has really run its course, and I would like to see a nice update for him as well. So, with that being said, I would say, if I had to be objective about both, now with Leia, I would definitely give a 2 thumbs up. With Luke, I think I will stick to 1 thumb up. Maybe, I'll just stick to 1 thumb up with Luke. I think he is definitely superior to his original release, but with the other Lukes that we've got in the past, I think that there's something missing with that head, and I think it is the paint itself. If the paint was a little bit better, I would say that this would be a 2 thumbs up. But with so many Luke Skywalker figures out there, I'm pretty sure that if you have a Luke, whether it's the Yavin or the Land Speeder version, or whatever, or the Figure Arts version, I think that those versions are a bit superior to this, especially in the head sculpt. I would say that the neck needs to be a little bit more adjusted and such, but the body itself, I think, is great. It's the neck and the head that are taking away. Leia, I think is top notch. I think she's pretty much perfect. I love the head sculpt. The sculpt of the robes look great. I love the way that hood actually sits on the head. It isn't floating. And I love the way it's engineered as well. It's a nice, tight fit. It almost looks like it's a cohesive sculpt itself. So, with that being said, it's going to be pretty much it for me. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Are you going to get these figures? Do you already have them? Let me know in the comments below what your opinion is. If you want to join, my channel memberships are up in the description box below, so you can check that out. And yeah, if not, just want to support the channel, be sure to leave a like and a comment and subscribe if you can. But that's going to be pretty much it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys on the flip side.